Hi folks, welcome to my weekly live stream. I love supporting mature yoga teachers, and I have some really interesting information today that I'm actually going to extrapolate on Saturday in this free workshop I'm teaching, which is called Why Most Yoga Teachers Aren't Trained to Teach Real Life People, and why those are the people who need you most. So I've got this free training. It's coming up on Wednesday at 10 a.m. I'm sorry, did I say Wednesday? Saturday, that's today. Saturday at 10 a.m. And then I'm also Eastern. And I'm also going to be doing it at 7 p.m. Eastern on Monday. If you want a link, go look in your email. If you don't get emails from us, why aren't you getting emails from us? Feel free to email us and we'll send it to you, support@settleyoga.com. Okay, let me talk a little bit about what I'm going to be talking about on Saturday and some of the things that I've been digging into lately. So let me just go back to when I first started training yoga teachers. This was in 2003. I realized at that time very quickly, I mean, it was such a, yoga was really building then. And I realized very quickly that I needed to be, if I was going to train yoga teachers, I also had to help build the industry. So I have been interested in this topic for nearly 22 years, 23 years. I've been interested in building the profession. I've been interested in the profession. I've been working so that yoga teachers can have a place to teach, And one of the things that I have said for a long time, but I'm really doubling down on now, is that working with older people is where the opportunity lies, because there have long been, for decades, there have been plenty of yoga teachers to work with young, fit, elite athlete, bendy dancer types. Like that was taken care of, years ago. What is missing, and now I have data to back it up, which is exciting to me, is our teachers who really understand how to work with the nervous system, chronic pain, inflammation, many chronic health issues, osteoporosis, et cetera. Like that's where we can really shine and really help people. Most yoga teacher trainings don't go into that stuff. Now, I'm not suggesting you have to be a doctor, but you do need to have some level of awareness and understand contraindications, for example, and understand that, we can't do everything and we don't know everything. So there is some responsibility of the student to bring you what their physician has said. Bring you, in some cases, I've even had to work in cases where I've said, I don't want you to come to my class until I know that your physician is okay with it. I've had that happen several times in my career. So I'm going to be talking about all this and more on Saturday and also on Monday evening. If you want details, go to my website and just send us an email, support@settleyoga.com. We'll send you all the details. Okay, so here's a couple of things that I told you I had data. I've been following this guy, his name is Anthony Vanare, for probably 10 years, I think, maybe 8 years now. He has this newsletter in this business that's called Fit Insider. It's Fit with 2 T's if you're interested to look at his stuff. Now, he's really scoping, he looks at the whole of the fitness industry, but he also looks at the wellness industry, which is, I got one foot in both worlds. I cannot say yoga is not part of the fitness industry. Of course, I'd like to not say that, but it is, and there's nothing wrong with fitness either, but yoga's different, Anyway, we're also in the wellness industry. So he provides a lot of data. He looks deeply, does a lot of research. And in his newsletter, he provides a lot of data about what the trends are and what the shifts are. And I think right now we're at the beginning of the middle of the bell curve of a big shift that's happening. And that shift is towards an aging demographic. So one of the things that that I learned from him is that the population of people who are older than 65 is going to surpass the population of people who are younger than 17 by the year 2030. And this is in the United States. Now, we know that has already happened in other countries like Japan, and it poses a big social problem, obviously. And so one of the things that's going to be very much on people's minds is, how do I age healthily? How do I age how do I increase what many people are calling the health span instead of the lifespan, the health span? Because the last thing pretty much anybody wants is to be a burden on children or, on anybody because of, now, of course, we can't control all of that. I want to make that clear, but we certainly can do things to try and make ourselves as healthy as possible for as long as we live. So that's becoming very, very important to this aging demographic. The other thing that I think is worth mentioning here is that aging demographic has most of the economic power. Right now, it's 40% of the economic power in this country. And they're expecting that to expand significantly by 2050. I think the number, let me see, I have the number right here. By 2050, I don't have the number in front of me, but it's $8.3 trillion right now. And by 2050, it's meant to be $27 trillion. That's in the pockets or in the portfolios or whatever they are of folks who are older than 65. Again, this poses a great economic problem. I'm not here to talk about that right now, although I certainly recognize it. But I'm here to talk about what it means for yoga teachers. And for yoga teachers, it means if you're not focusing on that population, you're missing an incredible opportunity. And Anthony Bernard says this. He says it's the majority of the wellness brands and the fitness brands are focusing on exclusively on younger markets, and he uses the word foolishly. Like it's foolish to keep your attention on that younger age demographic. What makes more sense, depending on, regardless of what age you are as a yoga teacher, to be focusing on this aging population, because those are the people that want it. And I think something else really important that's happened in the yoga world over the past 10 years or so is this: a lot of the people that were doing yoga because they thought it was a good exercise have moved on. They're teaching Feldenkrais or Alexander Technique or somatics, or they're teaching strength training or Pilates. Like they were just like, yoga is not good exercise, and I'm going to go do this other thing. So we've seen that kind of shift, which means like the students trot along behind them. They listen to that rhetoric and decided that yoga is not for them either. And that's because largely they were teaching yoga as some kind of a sweaty yoga butt, yoga abs thing, exercise trend. I think that we're on this side of the bell curve on that. We're this side of the bell curve. I think we're on the downside of the bell curve on that now. We're moving away from that idea that yoga is this kind of perfect or optimal exercise, which means we have to be talking about what yoga is good at, which is self-regulation, nervous system regulation, reducing all the troubles of aging, which I'm going to talk about in a moment here. So I'm going to go deeper into the statistics on Saturday. I'm also going to be talking about 3 key areas of aging, medically, it's not really medical, but science, research and the science behind these 3 parts of aging and how yoga can help. So these 3 things I'm going to be talking about are cellular senescence, which has to do with cells that die or get damaged, but are still metabolically active. So they are often contributing to inflammation. That's the second thing I'm going to be talking about, chronic inflammation and how it contributes to disease. And the third, and how yoga can help. And the third thing I'm going to be talking about is dysbiosis or gut health. And that becomes a big problem for folks as they get older too. And you go right back to some of the oldest yoga texts and they're talking about it. Like yoga was originally, asanas were originally designed to help people improve the health of their gut. So I'm going to be talking about all of that in greater depth on Saturday as well as on Monday night. So I'd love you to join me for it. If you don't have the link, if you don't see it in your email, feel free to reach out. You can either, message me on Facebook or reach out to, or on Instagram, or reach out to us on our website, support@settleyoga.com. So I'm really excited to go deep into this. I love supporting, as I always say, I love supporting mature yoga teachers and getting their wisdom out there into the world. And I think the future that is really bright for this kind of work. when you know how to work with older people, you understand, you don't have to understand all the science, you don't have to understand all the contraindications, but you have some grasp of that. I think you're just setting yourself up in a really good way to increase your reach. And that's, and help people, which is why we do what we do, right? So thank you so much for being here. Please leave a comment. I would love to hear from you. And hopefully I'll see you on Saturday or Monday. Oh, if you come live, we're doing a drawing and we're giving away some subtle yoga tote bags. So please come live. All right, take care.